Good morning. My name is Laura. Let's talk about how to tame your chickens. I've had chickens for 5 years and I've gone from a small backyard flock in the middle of the city to the country. We started our homestead in the country or in the city. We had we had a quarter of an acre, and now we're in the country. And so our needs for how to tame them have changed. Let's talk about it. And also, when I was in the city, I tamed those chickens because I spent a lot of time with them because I didn't have other animals or a bigger garden. But now that I have that, my needs have changed. But we'll talk about the whole gamut of how to have chickens that sit on your fingers to chickens that will come to the door. I used to have chickens and ducks literally that came to my door, my back door, and would just come running every morning, and they would eat by my hand. I'll show you some of those old pictures as we go along, but my needs have changed now, and but we'll talk about it all. There's several ways that you can tame chickens, but it usually starts when you get them home from the store or from the mail or whatever you do. If you're handling those chickens a lot, turkeys, ducks, turkeys can be very tame if you handle them a lot. Ducks, not so much, but the chickens, for sure. You can even train them to jump on your finger. You can train them into doing a lot of things if you handle them a lot as babies. Now, if you don't, you can run into some problems like we have here on the homestead, is that they get out a lot, they fly out. I can't catch them very easy, but I'm okay with that, and I'll tell you why. Our chickens, I want them a little more on the wild side, because if they were too tame, they would be too trusting. And because of the wild animals around, I want their instinct there. And they do now, because we've lost 3 chickens to hawks. So one of the things that I do is I have CDs hanging on my fence here. Their instinct is there. They hide from all kinds of animals. If a bird flies over, even if it's a vulture or whatever, they hide. They didn't at first. So if your animals are too tame, like our first batch, would not hide. Cutting their wings, that's another reason why I don't cut their wings. But that is another way to tame your chickens. With ducks, you can do that with and I'll show you a video, or I'll put a picture in here. I'm not cutting any wings today, so of where to cut them. I'll put a little graphic in here. You can just trim up those wings very easy. They're like nails, so they don't hurt in any way. Got a little bit of water. Feeding by hand is another way to tame your flock. If you're bringing them out like grubs or things like that, and you have it in your hand, and you just be patient and sit in their space, that's another way to tame your chickens. If you have adult chickens and they're not very tame, you can sit with them and bring them treats, and then they see you as a treat maker. Feeding out of a bucket, in the same bucket every time, the same color. Not that chickens see color really well, but that is a good way to tame those chickens too. So my chickens will follow a bucket because of that very thing. That is one of the reasons why and how I've tamed them. Now you can see we have a nice rooster here in the background. This is Fred. Fred is pretty tame. So spending time with your rooster is really good. But once his ladies start laying eggs, or if they start calling out to him, he can still get a little bit aggressive. Now, what I usually do is I put my foot up like this and say, no. And he backs off, but he has come at me a couple times and reared up his feet. What they do is they just kind of jump at you and want to claw you. He's got pretty big claws on his back legs. And the claws are like that long. They can do some serious damage. So I make sure that I'm very deliberate with him. Now, if he kept on doing it, and I would jump on him and pin him down for a little while and let him know who's boss. And that's how you do it. Just like he pins down his ladies, you jump on top of them and you pin them in place. And you probably only have to do that once if you have a bad roo. Other than if he gets aggressive like that. Usually the secondary rooster doesn't do that because the first rooster has kind of put him down or put him in his place. And so if you have to dispatch that rooster, that can be possible too. So feeding them by hand, feeding them with a bucket, just spending a lot of time with your chickens and clipping their wings if they're getting out a lot. I let my chickens get out the only ones that these ones kind of stay naturally confined, but I've got some dynamics going on in my coop with my chickens. I got an original batch, and then six months ago, I bought the big Brahmas there, and now I've got another batch that doesn't fit in here very well. They're very young. They're only like 4 months old. They are actually spending time with the pigs, and they eat the pig leftovers, which is basically the same food. So I'm not too worried about it. I keep the big turkey around. I only have one. We did order 2 and we lost one. It's very common with turkeys. She being big in our flock and having black chickens kind of keeps predators away. But that's all I would say about taming them. Just spending a heck of a lot of time with them. I haven't had a lot of time here on the homestead to do that, but that's what I do. So those are the 3 ways, or let me see, 4 ways. Clipping their wings. That's 1. Spending time with them. Feeding them by hand, and bucket training them. So 4 ways that you can spend time with your rooster. I would add all 4 of those, plus standing dominant against your rooster. Do not let him dominate you in any way, otherwise he will come at you. So those are the 5 ways that you can calm your chickens down. Boy, it's going to be a hot day. It's sweaty out here at 8 o'clock already. Just to keep them calm. Are white, and we have a black one. Black chickens are good to have because hawks think they're crows and they don't like crows. So a black variety is good to always have in your flock. The red chickens are the first chickens that we hatched out. We got Fred over here for free. And that's his lady. And Fred came with this flock. He's trying to breed this Jersey Giant black one over here. But he loves his lady. And then we also got the turkey over here. We got, when we first moved out here, called a homestead grouping of chickens, and chickens, ducks, geese, and those other 2 ducks, I don't know where they are right now. We got them. And then these guys, we're going after my chickens because there's 2 males in here. And they try to mate with the chickens, even though they're not chickens. So that is why we have them in this chicken tractor here. So that is just all our flock and all our animals. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and God bless.